Hello, this is Japanese Economic Review Channel. We've just gotten the latest official inflation numbers from the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, so let's jump right in.
And the big headline number is 1.5%. But you know, that single number, it really hides a fascinating and kind of complicated story. So what does it actually tell us? In this breakdown, we're going to dig behind that headline figure to see what's really driving prices up and, maybe more surprisingly, what's pushing them down. Okay, so to get the real picture of the economy, we've got to look under the hood of that main number. Economists do this by stripping out the most volatile, unpredictable items. Why? To find the true underlying trend. Think of it like this. Headline inflation is like the feels-like temperature outside. It's what you experience day to day, and it can be swayed by sudden changes, like a sudden drop in gas prices. Core inflation, on the other hand, is more like the actual temperature. It gives us a much more stable reading on the underlying economic climate because it takes out those jumpy items, which helps us see the real, persistent pressures affecting the economy long-term. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The headline number is 1.5%, sure. But look what happens when we remove fresh food. The rate jumps to 2.0%. And then, when we take out both fresh food and energy, what economists call core inflation, it's all the way up at 2.6%. That's a way higher number, and it points to a very different economic reality than that headline number suggests. So, what is going on here?
And you can see this play out in the official data from the ministry. The charts in their public report show that the trend line for headline inflation is slowing down. But that line for the core measure, it's staying stubbornly high. This tells us that even as some volatile prices are falling, the underlying price pressure across the rest of the economy isn't really cooling off nearly as fast.
So if that underlying trend is still pushing upwards, what specific things are driving these increases in your daily life? Let's take a closer look. So where are you likely feeling the pinch the most? Well, the data points to a few key areas. Your grocery bill is probably higher, with food prices up almost 4% overall. Your phone bill might be too, with communication costs jumping a hefty 6.7%. And, even just getting out and having some fun is costing more, as prices for culture and recreation are climbing. And when we drill down into specific items, wow, the numbers get truly eye-popping. Your morning cup of coffee, it just got a lot more expensive. Coffee beans have soared by 51%. That afternoon chocolate bar is up almost 26%, and mobile phone fees have climbed 11%. These are the kinds of specific items that are putting a real squeeze on household budgets. But it's not all one-way traffic. Let's flip to the other side of the coin, because some key things have actually gotten significantly cheaper over the past year. But some prices haven't just fallen, they've plummeted. Just look at this number, negative 63.5%. I mean, what on earth could have gotten that much cheaper in a single year? The answer is cabbage. And cabbage isn't alone. These are the major factors pulling that headline inflation number down. Fresh vegetables and fruits have seen big price drops. Gasoline is down nearly 15%, which is some much-needed relief at the pump. And then there's this huge one-off change. Public high school tuition dropped by an incredible 94.1%, which had a massive impact on the overall index. Okay, so we've got prices for some things way up, while prices for others are way down. So what does this all mean when we put it all together? What's the big takeaway for the Japanese economy right now? So here's the crucial point. The slowdown in that headline number we see is almost entirely because of those falling volatile prices, things like energy and fresh food. They are essentially masking a more persistent, widespread inflation across a broader range of goods and services, that stubborn 2.6% core figure we saw earlier. And this leaves us with a really important question about the path forward. With the headline number falling, it's easy to think inflation isn't a problem anymore. But with that core rate still high at 2.6%, are we just seeing the calm before another storm of price hikes? What do you think this all means for your wallet in the year ahead? Thank you for watching the Japanese Economic Review. We look forward to having you with us again.